Okay, I'm just going to go over how to do a CMA here. So I'm going to go through this quickly. So first of all, if you've submitted your pre-listing request and you go to your listing appointments, you'll find that the property that you're looking to do the CMA is already uploaded as far as details. So here is 1806 Julie is the one I'm going to do. I'm going to check the assessor profile to verify just a few things as far as square footage. So here is that detail, that assessor profile shows us layout of the property roughly, and it has the square footage, 1682 square feet. So that's what I'm going to base my CMA off of. Also has down here the year it was built, 1997, any additional buildings. So it shows a 20 by 22 attached garage. And then if you had other buildings, that would show up down there as well. So I've done a pre-listing walkthrough of this property already as well, so I know that it is a 3-bed, 2-bath home. So then from there we'll hop into Paragon. So I'm going to run a few different reports, CMA summaries, and start pulling my comps. So the first one I'm going to do is geographically around the property. I'm going to stick to just 90 days back, all the active, sold, and pendings. So geographically, put the criteria that I want to show up. Geographically also, I don't put a lot of criteria just because I want everything within a certain radius or subdivision to show up. So then from there, we're going to click on map. So you can type in right here the address, 1806 Julie Lane, and then it will center on that home. So so it has us centered now on that, and then I can just do a half-mile radius on that. So we just go like so. And for some reason it did not register that, so let me go back here to the map search. Oh, I forget that doesn't set the circle, so you have to actually draw. So I'm going to scroll in here to Julie Lane, click on the radius. I'm going to make approximately a half-mile radius there. The other option is to draw, use this rubber band or polygon option to if you're just trying to get certain boundaries, that's an option. So if I want to just go like here maybe from Blue Lakes up to Eastland and over to Cheney Drive or thereabouts, and I wanted just that side of Falls Avenue, I could do that. Okay, so now I have my area. I'm going to hit search. I'm going to switch to CMA summary view here, which I have saved into my favorites. From there, I'm just going to take a quick glance at this to see what properties are going for and what they're listed for. 315,000 up to 780,000. However, 500 is the more likely there. Our solds 285 to 451. Pendings 325 to 430. So probably a $300,000 to $500,000 property, most likely. I'll verify that as I continue down this CMA summary or the CMA process. So I am going to save this, and when I save this, I'm going to use print plus because it will save the criteria that I searched. So all listings, I'm going to do this print to PDF. Display photos, so the first item could potentially be a photo. That's not going to actually show up though with this particular report. And then this is the one you want to have checked, is the spreadsheet CMA summary criteria. So now if I hit print, so you can see at the top of this, that's where the criteria is saved. And rather than hitting print, I'm now going to hit save or download right here. And then I'm going to find the Dropbox file that we're dealing with, list appointments, 1806 Julie. And then I'm going to call this summary. And I'm going to put half-mile last 90 days. Okay. So now when I'm sharing this this with the client, I can show them what's happening immediately around their property to give them kind of a glimpse of that. Okay. Now what I could do here is, once again, since I know that the property was, what do we say, 1682 square feet, I could hop on here and see if any of these are in that criteria. So here's two right here, one on Falls and one on Targhee, that are close. Holly Drive is close. Falls Avenue's close. Lawndale Drive is kind of close in square footage. And then Locust Street North is also close. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to save those particular ones I just selected. I'm going to save these to a listing cart. I'm going to create this listing cart. And I'm just going to call it 1806 Julie. Okay, so now those particular ones are saved for future viewing. Okay, now I'm going, so that's when I look at just the geographical side of things. I'm just going to open this assessor profile and have it on my other screen for easy reference. So now I'm going to search all of Twin Falls here. So there's Twin Falls. Once again, just 90 days back initially. If I don't get very many results, I might move that back to 6 months or even a year if there are more unique properties where I just am struggling to get more comparables. So Twin Falls, I'm not going to worry about beds and baths at the moment. Once again, we're 1682 square feet. I'm going to go 200 square feet roughly, bigger and smaller. So 1450 and to 1850. Okay. Age of home is important. So this was a 1997 build. So I really don't want anything to show up that's older than 1980. But I also really don't want anything to show up that's like brand new. So I'm going to limit this to 2000. Oh, probably let's go 2020. There are going to be some homes that are a little on the newer side. That gives us 62 results. That's actually more results than I want. Oh, let me do one other thing. We're going to put a maximum acreage of 3/4 of an acre. Oh, and that didn't really take any out. So I'm going to go ahead and move this criteria back to 2015. So that dropped off a few. Down to 48. Let's go down to 2010. 42. That's more along the lines of where I like to see the number of results. So we will use that. And one other thing that I may consider is the number of garage bays. So this one has 2 car. I might consider that. Let's just see what would happen. I'm just going to do it for fun to see what would happen. 41. So we lose about 5 homes off of there. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just do homes with the 2 car capacity. That way we're not competing against those 3 car. Okay. So now the thing to remember here is we're looking at all of Twin Falls with this, and so you're going to end up with some homes that are in higher end subdivisions, maybe some that are in lower end subdivisions. So I'm very familiar with Twin Falls and where most of the roads are, so I'm going to give it a quick glance over of the type of areas that I would feel are most likely to be comparable. So most of these up here on this lower end price, most of them are homes that are not in as good of a subdivision as this one. And I just know that. And so I'm going to just skip some of those. Castlewood. Let's see, where exactly is Castlewood? So I can click on the map to verify where Castlewood is. Oh, that's over on the west end of Twin. That's not a bad spot. Cedar Park, Northern Pine, West Spring Pine. I like this. Bradley. I like that spot. So I kind of feel like the homes that start to get into more comparable locations are kind of starting in around this area. Before that, I think we're against homes that are in subdivisions or locations that aren't quite as good. So I'm just going to start right here in Los Lagos and see what we have. 1529 square feet. And then I'll usually just go through the pictures right quick. Actually, one other thing I'm going to check here. I'm going to go to the CMA summary. Look for those. So this is one. So one way I do it is if I just go through here and I'll start clicking one at a time in the range that I feel is most likely and start comparing photos and whatnot to the property I walked through. The other way is to hop in here on the CMA summary and then start looking for those homes that are as close as possible in square footage. And once again, in locations that I feel like are going to be somewhat comparable. So let's see, Bradley and Grace, those are both good locations, and they're pretty close in square footage. Canyon Park Avenue, okay, that's a little bit nicer area, so I'm going to stay off of that one. Let's see, so 1600 Sunburst, Aspenwood, probably not quite as good of an area, but I'm going to click this one. Sagebrush, those are quite a bit smaller, so I'm going to hold off of those ones. Clover, that's actually not as good of an area, but that's close in square footage. I'm just going to click that one for now. Teton Street, Wrangler. So some of those aren't as good of areas right there. Interestingly enough, most of these on the solds aren't quite as nice of areas. So interesting. Sagebrush is pretty good. Castlewood. Park Meadows, which, let's see which one's, where's this one at exactly? Oh, that's a pretty good area. So I'll grab that Park Meadows one. I mean, some of these are decent areas. They're just not quite as good. Whispering Pine, I really do like that one. Bitter Brush. Let's see where this is exactly. Okay. That's a pretty good area. Maybe not quite as good, but still good. So I kind of feel like those ones are going to give me the best idea. So I'm just going to click on this checked and see where I'm coming. So it looks like most of our properties are right in the 340 up to the 380 range. So what I would do is I'm going to save these ones over to the listing card also. And I'm going to go back to all here really quick. I'm going to turn this into a CMA summary. I'm going to do the print plus on this, same thing, so I can see all the criteria and share this with the client. So once again, this is going to be a summary as well, but this is going to be so 90 days, 1450 to 1850 square feet. And built 1980 to 2015, I think is where we were. I'm just looking at this year, 2010 is what it was. Okay, so now I have this this report. I really like this report